So, if you're thinking about a family home in the GTA, Brampton is almost definitely on your radar, right? But let's be real. With how fast it's growing, you've probably heard a lot of different things. So, what's the real story? Is it actually a good place for your family? Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise and go straight to the data to see what life in Brampton is actually like. So, let's dive in.
Okay, let's just pause on all the other stuff for a second. The parks, the schools, commute times, all of that can wait. Because for any family, the first question, the big one, is always the same. Is it a safe place to live? I mean, that's the absolute foundation for everything else, right? So let's just tackle that question head on.
And you know what's interesting? The data gives us a surprisingly clear answer. The short version is yes, Brampton is a safe, family-oriented city. But, and this is a really important but, it all comes down to knowing which neighborhoods are the right fit for your lifestyle. So, what does the actual evidence tell us? Let's break it down.
All right, so this is where we get past all the talk and look at the hard numbers. According to the Peel Regional Police, Brampton consistently ranks as one of the safer large cities in Ontario. That's a pretty big deal. And if you zoom in on the residential areas, crime rates are actually stable or, in many cases, even going down. Now, when you talk about crime, what are we really talking about? Well, most of the incidents are things like minor traffic or property stuff, not major citywide issues. All of this really paints a picture of a city that's, by and large, quiet, suburban, and really community-focused. Okay, so we've established the big picture. The city is safe. But Brampton is huge, so where do you even begin to look? Remember that crucial detail we mentioned, finding the right fit? Well, let's zoom in and take a tour of some of the neighborhoods that really stand out for being safe and having that great family vibe.
First up, let's talk about Castlemore. If you're picturing a place that's a bit more upscale, a bit more peaceful, this is it. We're talking luxury homes, really wide open streets, and that all contributes to this strong sense of community safety. It just feels calm. And then you've got a place like Mount Pleasant, which is a completely different vibe. This place is a true family hub, and it's all about convenience. It has its own GO station, a library, parks everywhere, which makes it absolutely ideal for commuters who don't want to sacrifice that tight-knit community feel. So here's a quick look at how these neighborhoods stack up. You can see right away, if you're a commuter or have a young family, Mount Pleasant with its GO station and new schools is a no-brainer. For multi-generational families where schools are a top priority, Springdale is fantastic. If you're looking for that quiet, spacious feel we talked about, Castlemore is your spot. And hey, if you're a first-time buyer, Fletcher's Meadow is a huge win. It's affordable and still close to everything you need. All right, so let's say you found the perfect, safe neighborhood. Awesome. But a great family life is about more than just your house, right? It's about what happens outside the front door. So what is there to do? What does a weekend in Brampton actually look and feel like for a family? Let's start with just one number. Over 4,000. That's not a typo. That's how many acres of parkland there are in Brampton. To put that in perspective, that is a massive amount of green space, just a huge, huge plus for any family. So what does 4,000 acres actually mean for your family on a Saturday? Well, it means you can spend your weekends swimming at Heart Lake Conservation Area, or hitting the playgrounds and splash pads at the famous Chingawakazi Park. Or maybe you're into hiking and wildlife watching at Clairville. And get this, there are over 90 kilometers of trails. You are seriously never going to run out of places to explore. And of course, we have to talk about schools. For any family, this is non-negotiable. The great news is Brampton is served by two really well-respected school boards, the Peel District School Board and the Dufferin-Peel Catholic School Board. This means families have a fantastic selection of top-tier schools all over the city. Okay, so let's recap. We've got safe neighborhoods, check. We've got amazing amenities and green space, check. But now we get to the other big question that every homebuyer has. Is buying in Brampton a smart investment? Let's get into the financial side of things. You know, when you zoom out and look at the entire GTA, Brampton's affordability really starts to shine. Put it next to its neighbors like Mississauga or Vaughan, and you'll see that home costs are just generally higher over there. What that means for you is that Brampton offers much stronger value, making it a way more realistic option for first-time buyers or for families needing to move up to a larger space without completely breaking the bank.
So it makes you wonder, why are investors so drawn to Brampton? Well, it's a pretty simple recipe for growth. You start with an affordable entry point compared to Toronto. You add in strong rental demand from all the newcomers. Then you mix in continuous city development and job creation. And underpinning it all is growing infrastructure. We're talking schools, roads, and transit. And here's the key. Those are the exact same factors that build long-term value for a family buying their forever home.
And you know, this growth isn't just happening by chance. The city is being really intentional about it. They have this official plan called the 2040 Vision, which is basically a roadmap for how they're going to expand green spaces even more and seriously upgrade transit. They are actively working to future-proof this growth, making sure the quality of life stays high.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here. We've looked at safety data, we've done deep dives into different neighborhoods, we've talked parks, and we've even talked investment potential. So, what does this all mean for you? What's the main takeaway? Let's pull it all together.
But before we finish up, I've got to give you this one pro tip. This is awesome. You don't have to just take my word for it or anyone else's when it comes to safety. The Peel Regional Police have this incredible online crime mapping tool. You can literally go online, type in an address, and see up-to-date street-level safety data for yourself. It's such a powerful tool that lets you make a decision based on the absolute latest information. So, what's the bottom line here? The data really does paint a very clear picture. We're looking at a city that's safe, that's absolutely packed with family-friendly amenities, and that is growing in a smart, planned-out way. It offers incredible value, especially in the GTA. So, the big question, is Brampton right for your family? The data says a pretty confident yes. The real question, the one that's left for you, is which of these amazing neighborhoods is the perfect fit for your family?